Good morning and happy Sabbath all.
Good morning.
How's everybody this Sabbath? So this is the thing, we have to learn the lesson from Samson, right?
Yeah.
We have to learn. Nah, the question is, what makes Samson to fall? Apa yang membuat Samson jatuh, kan? Jatuh. Here, ini ya, yang last week. Jadi kenapa itu Samson jatuh? Ini Ellen White punya kasih kutipan. Samson orang yang mighty man, dia itu dibawa sumpah untuk menjadi nasar selama hidupnya. Tetapi apa dibilang di sini? Dia menjadi becoming infatuated, in love with the charm of Lud atau harlot or apostate church. But there's a literal application, okay? This is spiritual application and there's a literal application. Jadi Samson itu jatuh cinta sama seorang wanita. Terus gara-gara wanita itu dia merusak dia punya sacred pledge. Saat setan bekerja melalui agen-agennya untuk membinasakan the ruler of Israel. Jadi ini agen-agen yang setan gunakan adalah dragon. The enemies that Satan used to destroy Samson is dragon, beast, and then false prophet. That the mysterious power which he possessed will no longer intimidate the enemies of God. Jadi salah satu yang membuat Samson's fall is the woman, apostate woman. Okay, and this is the other one. I didn't tell you last week. Here, the valley of Sorek, a little valley not far from his own birthplace, was celebrated for its vineyard. Jadi mereka punya dia punya tempat kelahirannya, ada acara yang mereka celebrate itu untuk kebun anggur. That's right. This also had a temptation. Jadi celebrationnya itu mereka minum apa? Anggur. Jadi ini membuat Samson jadi tergoda, who had already indulged in the use of wine. So we know that Samson he drank wine. Tapi untuk mau jadi nasar nggak boleh drink wine, right? You cannot drink wine kalau jadi nasar. Karena dia drink wine, dia thus breaking another tie that bound him to temperance, to purity, and to God. Remember temperance? Last week's sermon from Brother Roger, we have to be temperate in one thing, right? No. All things. Learn from Samson. This is appetite or temperance or anything. Jadi kalau kita minum wine itu, kalau kita minum wine of Babylon, this is gonna happen. Kita udah nggak jadi pure di hadapan Tuhan. Nah sekarang I'm gonna bring another application for young men. For young men. Okay, before that, the fall of Samson, the woman, the false doctrine, wine of Babylon. Here, look at this. The woman and the wine. Lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, and then pride of life. Itu terdapat di dalam 1 John 2 verse 15 and 16. Jadi yang menjadi kejatuhan dari Samson adalah 3. Lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, and then pride of life. Nah sekarang, lesson for young men. Here, lesson for young men. Take a look the story of Samson. Kenapa dia jatuh? Physically, Samson, dia adalah orang yang paling kuat. Physically, he is the strongest man upon the earth. Tapi dalam self-control, integrity, and firmness, he was the weakest of the men. Jadi even though you guys are strong, macho, tapi kalau nggak bisa control yourself, nggak ada integrity, nggak ada firmness, nggak ada backbone, nggak ada kayak keteguhan, nggak bisa stand for the principle, you are the weakest man.
Wow.
So, what is the most important thing? Physically or spiritually? Spiritually. Terus here, dia punya passion, dia punya keinginan were not held in the subjection to reason and the fear of God. The blandishment atau bujukan of the beautiful woman greatest temptation to the young. Right, Orville?
Right. I know that.
Okay, so we learn from the story of Samson. Woman, look at the story of Solomon. What happened with him? He turned his heart from God to another God because of woman. Samson, woman. Adam, woman.
Wow.
All woman.
Semua ya.
That's why we have to put God first, right?
David woman.
That's right. Oh, that's a lot of story.
Only Yusuf yang gak woman ya.
Kak Dewi, you know
And
what I'm
Daniel.
going. I'm gonna bring that
I'm
up.
sorry.
Jadi Joseph yang Samson fall, Joseph itu overcome. That's right. Jadi gara-gara wanita ini yang membuat Samson jatuh. Nah, this is the lesson. Those who do not make God their strength will be overcome by Satan's device. Jadi kalau kita nggak membuat Tuhan itu kekuatan kita, for sure we will overcome by Satan. Just a matter of time. So Samson's fall nggak kayak langsung jatuh, dia itu apa? Little by little.
Slow but sure.
Slow but sure. Right, George? I mean, lesson for you too. Okay, for all of us. And the spiritual application is apostate church, right? Don't play games with apostate church. Okay, that's the lesson. Dan kita udah tahu the hair represent the glory. That was last week. And the logo of the three angels' message is the power of the Adventist people, right? The power. And here, this is the power, the glorious manifestation of the power of God. Three angels' message. Okay? So what happened if we lose our strength? The Lord departed. Jadi ini kenapa SDA itu, kenapa Tuhan meninggalkan SDA itu? Karena mereka reject Tuhan, kan? Dan waktu Samson dia punya power taken away from him, just like the story of Zedekiah. Samson punya mata di apa? Dicungkil. Zedekiah punya mata juga di apa? Dicungkil. The eyes of Zedekiah, he put out his eyes. Terus Zedekiah dibawa di mana?
Babylon.
Di Babylon, just like Samson dibawa di prison house. So prison house symbolize Babylon. And then here, jadi Revelation 18 points to the time when as the result of the rejecting of three angels' message. So Revelation 18, apa dibilang Revelation 18? Babylon is fallen. Kenapa Babylon fall? Karena SDA udah reject three angels' message. That's what happened. Terus waktu Samson di prison house, dia merasa dia punya diri apa? Tersiksa, kan? Dia merasa weak, blind. Itu weak, blind itu represent apa? Condition of what? Laodikia. Nah, ini kalian ditanya you asked me last night. I'm gonna show you something, the quotation. Oh, ini waktu Samson di prison house, dia weak, blind, in prison, jadi dia merasa seperti kayak apa? Kondisi Laodikia. Okay, let me show you something. Nah, ini kalian nih quotationnya. If the church of God become lukewarm itu kondisi of apa? Laodicean. Okay, kalau gereja menjadi kondisi Laodikia, it does not stand in the favor with God anymore, then do the churches that are represented as having fallen, which is Babylon, and become the habitation of the devils and the hold of every false spirit and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Jadi kalau if our condition become lukewarm, we become like Babylon. Jadi jangan bilang, oh, we are so proud to become Babylon, Laodicean. If you're Laodicean, you're Babylon. Sama di hadapan Tuhan. Jadi kalau kita lukewarm, kenapa kita lukewarm?
Love the world.
Love the world, and then SDA. Kalau kita jadi panas, bagaimana supaya jadi panas? The presence of God in the midst of us, right? Kehadiran Tuhan harus di tengah-tengah kita. But when we reject God, kita jadi apa? Lukewarm. Dan kalau kondisi kita lukewarm, kita itu sama dengan Babylon. Okay. Nah, okay, this is the new one. Jadi waktu Samson udah di prison house, Samson udah di Babylon or prison house or Babylon. Nah, the question is, apakah Tuhan punya another chosen people? Apakah Tuhan punya another chosen people?
Yeah.
Yes, right? You're gonna study now. This is the new one. Okay? Yang saya kasih tunjuk tadi just review from last week. Okay, we'll see here Judges 16:22 to 24. Howbeit the hair of his head began to grow. Jadi rambutnya Samson mulai apa? Tumbuh. The hair of his head began to grow again after he was shaven. Shaven. Yeah. Then the lords of the Philistine gathered them together to offer a great sacrifice. Siapa yang offer sacrifice?
The lords of the Philistines.
Yes, tapi biasanya kalau yang over sacrifice, you remember
Priest,
in Mount
priest.
Carmel, who's the one that over sacrifice? Baal or Mount Carmel, Elijah. Who's the one that over sacrifice? Unto their God. False prophet. Ini false prophet. Remember, one of the enemy is the false prophet. Jadi yang false prophet itu yang offer apa? Great sacrifice kepada siapa? Unto Dagon. Ini I don't know how to pronounce in English. Dagon? Dagon? Not dragon ya, bukan dragon. This is Dagon. Jadi ini adalah false prophet yang over sacrifice. Ya. I'm gonna show you something about Dagon ya. Jadi ini mereka over great sacrifice unto Dagon their God, dan mereka bersukacita karena mereka bilang, oh, our enemy Samson sudah di mana? In our hand. Jadi Samson itu mereka bilang mereka punya God, mereka punya Dagon, Baal yang deliver Samson into their hand. That's what they said ya. Terus waktu orang-orang melihat Samson, mereka apa? They praise their God. Mereka memuja-muja apa? Dagon, Baal. Dan mereka berkata, Tuhan kami yang deliver into our hands of our enemy, dan destroyer of our country which slew many of us. Jadi mereka bilang, wow, gara-gara mereka punya Baal yang membuat Samson itu ditangkap di tangan mereka. Nah sekarang kita akan lihat, okay, here, look at here. Samson punya hair itu begin to grow. Remember ya? What is the hair represent?
Glory,
The power,
protection,
the glory.
power.
Remember dia punya hair udah mulai apa? Grow. Kita akan lihat dia punya hair itu
Kuat lagi
represent
nggak
apa?
ya?
Kenapa?
Kuat lagi nggak?
Okay. Let's see Kak Dewi. Jadi one of the enemies of Samson is false prophet. Kalian masih ingat waktu the Ark of Covenant diambil oleh Philistines? And then they brought it to the house of Dagon. What happened with the Dagon? Fall down. Ini orang Filistin punya Baal is Dagon. Itu mereka punya Baal ya. Oke, nah sekarang saya akan mau kasih tunjuk satu. Oke. You guys wanna see Dagon?
Yeah.
Kalian mau lihat Dagon gimana? Looks like. Iya. Jadi Dagon itu is the god of fish.
Yep.
Kayak ikan ya. Ikan.
Dari batu ya, dari batu.
Hah?
Mereka bikin dari batu.
Iya. Jadi ini mereka punya Baal. Nah sekarang kalian mau lihat Dagon right now? Kan
Yeah.
ini dulu toh?
Ya, sekarang
Okay, you wanna see Dagon right now?
Yeah.
Baal right now?
Mirip.
You know, Paul punya hair
My turn.
is represent apa?
Oh iya,
Dagon.
itu atasnya.
Here, look at dia punya head just like fish, right?
Oh iya.
Here, look at it. Kalau headnya dikasih begini kayak fish, toh? Ini kan fish. Ini look at the picture. This is fish. Ini fish. Terus head
Iya.
Papacy punya head itu like fish. Dia punya meter, dia punya head yang tinggi itu dan kayak fish. Jadi fish. So the priest of ancient Dagon fish worship ini the religious meter head from Babylon. Jadi ini kepalanya. So when Samson fall into udah di tangannya enemies, terus mereka sekarang worship apa? Papacy, they worship the image of
The beast.
the beast. Image of the beast di mana? Isn't it the false prophet USA?
Yeah.
That's right. So look at here. Yang study Revelation 12:13. I'm gonna ask you question. Siapa yang kasih power kepada beast? Who gave the power to the beast? Dragon. Isn't it the dragon di sini kasih power kepada Delilah? Right? Terus in Revelation 13:11 to 10, who's the false prophet? America, USA. In USA, they will make the image of the beast. Papacy. Right? This is the story of Samson, remember? So, it's applicable in our time. What did I miss? Oh no, this is just the symbol of, this is Dagon, the Philistines Baal. This is the Baal in our time, which is papacy. Huh? Ufu looks like Ufu, huh? That's right. Ini ya, Dagon. Ini papacy. You guys, if you did you ever see the symbol like this in the car?
Fish.
Terus mereka tulis gini,
Jesus.
Jesus. Remember?
Ya, sering.
Padahal ini Dagon, this is Baal.
Ya.
But kayak di
Meksiko punya itu orang.
Right. So this is abomination actually. I'm just saying.
Really?
This is not nice.
Because it taught us that sign.
Yeah, because this is the symbol of Dagon. Fish, Baal. Tapi mereka taruh apa?
It's a Greek.
One more. It's like a symbol of cancer.
Uh-huh.
They put like that too.
Oh, I see.
They put like that, the sign is in the purpose or they don't know something.
Probably somebody know, probably somebody doesn't know. But for you, because you guys know, don't ever put the sticker like that. You know, that's Dagon, symbol of Dagon. Okay. You guys wanna see Dagon in our church? Yeah. Want see Dagon in our church? Okay. Here, Loma Linda University. Look at the apa?
My turn.
Dia punya ini di sini, it's kayak fish ini, kayak toppingnya ini, kayak toppingnya apa? Paus. Jadi kita punya, bukan cuma di Loma Linda, I saw in another churches, mereka punya building itu udah kayak bikin Iya, kaca, that's right. I saw in Australia, mereka punya kaca itu udah begini semua.
Yeah, I saw it cuma
That's why we have to know the apostasy. Huh?
Apostasy.
Iya. Itu karena mereka udah ikutin dari mana?
pelan ya. Inspirasinya dari situ semua.
Ya. Just for your information to open up your eyes. Oke, nah sekarang kita lihat bahwa Samson punya hair, udah apa? Punya hair, kan? Udah what makes something to grow? Okay, let's put it in spiritual application. What makes something to grow? What makes something to grow?
Water.
Water or
Son of
rain,
Rain.
right? Okay. Psalm 147 verse 8. Who covered the heaven with clouds? Who prepared the rain for the earth? For who made grass to grow upon the mountain? So what makes something to grow? Water. Rain, okay?
Let the rain.
Oh, that's right, Kak Dewi. Hosea 14 verse 5. I will be as the dew unto Israel. Apa ini dew?
Rain.
Embun atau rain juga kan, air, dew. For he shall grow as the lilies. So, what makes something to grow? Dew or rain or water. Rain kan?
Yeah.
Jadi waktu Samson punya hair is grow, put it in spiritual application. Something yang bikin something to grow is rain. Okay. Water or rain that makes plant to grow. Apa itu rain? What is rain?
Doctrine.
Terdapat di mana? Deuteronomy 32 verse 1 and 2. Give ear, O heavens, and I will speak, and hear, O earth, the words of my mouth. My doctrine shall drop as a rain. Doctrine. My speech shall distill as a dew. So the doctrine, the message is represent as a rain or dew. Okay. You guys sampai situ udah ngerti yang membuat something grow itu adalah rain, right? Remember, Samson punya hair udah apa? Grow. Berarti ada another God's chosen people yang udah receive apa? Rain. Rain yang bikin something itu apa? Grow. Oke. Now let me ask you, is that harus ada special rain or whatever rain? Special rain kan untuk membuat grow kan? Jadi sebelum kita grow, kita punya posisi apa dulu?
Foundation.
Tidur.
Tidur atau apa kata lain dari tidur? Mati. Berarti harus ada message yang untuk bikin apa? Revive. Nah, sekarang kita lihat message apa yang akan bikin kita revive. What kind of message? Ya?
Prophecy.
That's right. Ezekiel 37, Kak Dewi, dry bones. Jadi ini Tuhan membawa Yeskiel di valley of dry bones, full of bones. If you see bones, is that the living person or dead?
Dead person.
Dead, right? Udah mati. Terus itu bone-nya itu very dry. That means ini bone itu udah mati barusan atau udah lama matinya? Lama matinya, right? Nah sekarang we gonna see how God will revive this bone. Kasih bangkit lagi atau grow. Can this bone live? Jadi Tuhan tanya sama Yeskiel, apakah ini tulang-tulang bisa hidup? Terus Yeskiel bilang, oh Lord, kok tanya saya? Kamu lebih tahu dari saya. Kamu kan Tuhan. Like that. Terus Tuhan bilang apa sama ini bone? Prophesy. Oke. Prophecy. Kan? Prophesy. Jadi ini ada apa? Bone. Udah dry bone. Makanya selama ini kita belajar apa? What do we study so far? Prophecy. Karena this is the method of God untuk apa? Revive. Bangkitkan. Grow. Ya. The prophesy unto these bones, say unto them, O ye dry bone, hear the words of God. Hear the rain. Rain kan? Words of God is rain kan? Thus said unto the Lord, unto these bones, behold, I will cause breath into you, and you shall live. Jadi ini prophesy and then breath. Pas dua ini di-join, ini dry bone jadi apa? Live. Apa arti live? Live.
Born again.
Born again atau revive kan? Revive. Dibangkitkan kembali. Atau rambutnya itu mulai apa? Grow. Bangkit. Terus dia mau hidup and will I see me upon you. I'm just gonna continue. So Jeheskiel, so I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, into dry bone, and they lived and stood up upon their feet. Dan mereka jadi apa? Great exceeding army. Oke, attention ya. Waktu mereka dikasih ini, mereka jadi apa? Army. Oke, pay attention. Jadi ini the new hair. The new hair begins to grow, and we gonna see later apakah new hair ini adalah great exceeding army or not. We'll find out. Oke, jadi waktu prophesy, breath, revive, make exceeding, mereka jadi apa? Exceeding great army. Oke. Nah sekarang prophecy is the one that makes the hair grow atau revive. How many rain do we know?
2.
Early and later
Later.
rain. Oke. Nah sekarang waktu kita belajar prophecy, buku apa yang kita belajar? What book do we study when we study prophecy? Daniel and Revelation. Last night kita belajar Daniel apa?
7.
Daniel 7. Itu when you guys study Daniel and Revelation, that's the way Tuhan bikin kita apa? Revive. So don't make Daniel 7, Daniel 2. No, this is God's way untuk mau revive kita. This is the way of God ya. Oke. Nah sekarang jadi untuk belajar ini prophecy itu untuk membuat kita apa? Bangkit, revive. Oke, let's take a look Ellen G. White quotation about that. When the books of Daniel and Revelation are better understood, believers will have an entirely different religious experience. So when you and me understand Daniel and Revelation, we will have entirely keseluruhan pengalaman kehidupan kerohanian kita akan jadi apa? Berbeda, isn't it? Did you guys experience it? Right? Do you guys experience it, right? let us give more time to study of the Bible. Harus kasih lebih banyak waktu belajar Alkitab. We do not understand the word as we should. Kita nggak ngerti Alkitab sebagaimana yang seharusnya. Terus the book of Revelations open with an injunction to us to understand the instruction that it contains. Okay, we study book of Revelation and Daniel. There are one. So when you study Daniel, you have to study Revelation, or if you study Revelation, you have to go back to Daniel. So in here, in Revelation, book of Revelation, when we understand what this book, Revelation and Daniel, look at this, mean to us, when we understand Daniel and Revelation, there will be seen among us, apa ini?
Great revival.
Great revival. Toh Oma, kenapa lukewarm? Kenapa Laodicean nggak bangkit-bangkit?
Nggak belajar.
They don't study prophecy.
They're blind.
Even though they study, tapi mereka punya understand is confused. In order for us to understand Daniel and Revelation, we have to go back here. Foundation, three angels message. That's the way Tuhan kasih apa? Revive kita. You got all feel so far?
Mereka belajar dalam wahyu tapi nggak.
Tapi kalau nggak belajar ini nggak bisa. Cannot understand. Okay, so in Revelation, in Ezekiel 37, ini Tuhan punya method untuk apa? Revive kita kan? Dan Ellen White confirm when we study Daniel and Revelation, there's a great revival. Okay, so my question is, what is the new hair represent then? Apa new hair itu represent? Hah?
New power.
That's right. Now we're gonna study. Okay. In suffering and humiliation, jadi sesudah Samson dibawa di prison, orang-orang Filistin bikin apa sama dia? Olok-olok, ya? Hah? Iya, dimain-mainan. In suffering and humiliation, a sport for Philistines, Samson learned. Look at that. Dia learned more of his own weakness than he had ever known before. And his affliction led him to repentance. Samson, he repent. Samson itu bertobat. Ya, praise God, untung dia bertobat.
He became remnant.
That's right. We'll go there. He become remnant. Okay. As he hair grew, dia punya rambut apa? Bertumbuh lagi. Apa yang bikin bertumbuh? Early and later. Jadi when I speak literal, then you guys You guys harus spiritual ya. If I speak literal, you guys have to think spiritual. As he had grew with latter and early rain, his power gradually returned. So when the hairs grew, dia punya kekuatan apa? Kembali lagi ya. But remember, Samson yang dulu udah mati. Sekarang the new power. Dia punya power gradually return. But his enemies regarding him as a weary and helpless prisoner felt no. Jadi dia punya enemy pikir Samson ini masih orang yang tidak kuat lagi, masih weak. Tapi dia punya apa?
Kuat balik.
Dia punya kekuatan udah balik, dia punya hair udah return. The new hair represent people that will have power and the glory of God, because the hair represent apa? Power and the glory of God. Terus the new hair itu represent apa? Exceeding great army kan, yang sudah dibangkitkan, that will proclaim three angels message. This one. The new hair itu, okay, what is hair represent anyway? Hair, the power, the glory, manifestation of God. Itu direpresent by the three angels message kan? Kalau powernya udah mulai kembali lagi sama dia, berarti God has another people yang udah receive early and later rain, dan mereka itu akan proclaim apa? The angels message. The new hair, remember when kita udah die spiritual kan? Yang membuat kita grow apa? Revive.
Prophecy.
Prophecy, early and the latter rain kan, yang membuat something to grow and grow. Terus waktu udah grow, become an exceeding army. Siapa ini exceeding army? Who are they? 144,000. That's right. So what is the new hair represent? 144,000. Okay, look at this. Samson wants God's chosen people. Who God's chosen people before? SDA. When you apostate, God departed from you, right? Right now Tuhan apa? Has another
New
new
hair.
people, new hair, which is the remnant. Yang mereka itu dibangkitkan dengan apa? Prophecy. Prophecy. Mereka dibangkitkan dengan prophecy. Mereka punya new power hair kan, represent new power, dan new power ini adalah ini, 3 angels message. So the exceeding great army is 144,000.
Wow.
In number or symbolize?
In number.
Ellen what always bilang?
In number.
144,000 in
In number.
numbers. The hair represent the new hair represent 144,000 that will have the power and the glorious manifestation of God. And look at this verse, yeah. Look at this verse. Take it spiritual. Okay, I'm gonna show you the verse. Take it spiritual. But the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Kan ini dulu bilang, oh Tuhan sangat care sama kita. Even the hair Tuhan tahu kan, God number. When I look at this, I was like, wow, the hair of your head all are
Number.
numbered. The new hair
All them.
represent 144,000 in number.
Revelation juga bilang number.
Yeah, exactly. So when you guys read the
Matthew
Bible, think about something spiritual. That's not all literal. That's a spiritual application. Okay, sekarang another one. Let me ask. If 144,000, are they gonna fall or no?
No.
They will not fall, right? Okay, here. Do you know the story of Jonathan? Here, di sini kan. And the people said unto Saul, shall Jonathan die who has wrought this great salvation in Israel? Jadi Jonathan itu kayak Samson. Dia itu yang harus deliver Israel kan? Deliver Israel. So shall Jonathan die who has brought this great salvation in Israel? Jadi Jonathan itu yang membawa keselamatan bagi bangsa Israel. So if Jonathan brings salvation to Israel, Jonathan itu apakah dia represent God's people?
Yeah.
144,000, let's say. Okay. Jonathan, God forbid. As the Lord liveth, there shall not one hair of his head fall to the ground. The new hair which represent 144,000, the remnant, they never fall. Just like Jonathan, one of the hair of his head never fall to the ground. Okay, here. Jonathan represents God's chosen people that deliver Israel, which is symbolized by 144,000 in number. Mereka itu tidak akan apa? Jatuh.
We have about 100,000 hairs on our head.
We have how many?
100,000.
100,000? Wow. Almost 144,000. Oh, okay. So ini hanya ayat yang menunjukkan bahwa the hairs is number and the hair is never fall to the ground, represent the new hair which is 144,000. Mereka akan jadi apa? Exceeding great army. Jadi apakah ini army yang akan kalahkan ini nanti? Dragon, beast, and false prophet? Oh ya, we gonna see the story. Hah?
Sebelum ini Jan.
Here?
Oh iya.
Patriarch and Prophet 566. Okay, we gonna finish it up the story of Samson. Oh, okay. Jadi ini hair, new hair ini akan proclaim 3 angels message, right? Karena new hair ini, which is represented by the remnant, 144,000, they have the glorious, the power and the glorious manifestation of God, which is represented by this, right? Okay. Nah, kita lihat apakah the new hair ini lebih kuat dari hair sebelumnya atau enggak?
Lebih kuat.
Do you think the new hair lebih stronger than the other one?
Yes.
Okay, let's prove. Let's prove. Last day events, page 202. The power which stirred the people so mightily in 1844 movement ini kan? 1844 movement, this one. This is the power of God. The power yang stirred the people so mightily in 1844 movement will again be revealed. So the power in here akan di-reveal again, akan di-reveal. Terus the third angel's message will go forth not in whisper tone but with the loud voice. So this akan di-reveal again, which is the remnant. Terus here, and I saw that this message atau here this message will close with power and strength far exceeding the midnight cry. So the new hair is stronger than the hair before, because this one is far exceeding the midnight cry. So this one, the 1844, when was the midnight cry? Tanggal berapa? Midnight cry.
Maret kayaknya.
August
August 17.
August 12 to August 12 sampai August berapa midnight cry?
Itu
Tanggal berapa?
Exeter bukan.
Exeter, that's right. New Hampshire.
Sampai Oktober.
17.
Independent 17 August 12 to August 17 1844, that's the midnight cry. Dan this message akan lebih far exceeding in power compared to midnight cry. Jadi the new hair akan lebih kuat daripada the hair before. Dan kita akan lihat ya di story of Samson. Here, I'm gonna read again one more time. The angels who unite in proclamation of the third angel's message is to lighten the whole earth with his glory. A work of worldwide extent and unwanted although unusual power is here foretold. The Advent movement of 1840 to 1844 was the glorious manifestation of the power of God, which is represent the hair, kan? Okay, here. The first angel's message was carried to every missionary station in the world, and in some countries there was the greatest religious interest which has been witnessed in any land since the Reformation of the 16th century. But these are to be exceed. Jadi ini message ini akan lebih exceed by the mighty movement under the last warning of the third angel's message. Jadi you and me, kita akan proclaim ini dan the power itu akan lebih exceed. Jadi akan lebih apa? Lebih besar dia punya apa? Power. Karena nanti waktu kita proclaim, we have to proclaim with the loud voice atau apa? Loud cry. Dan powernya akan lebih apa? Lebih strong dari the movement of 1844. Nah, sekarang if you are Seventh-day Adventist, you have to ask yourself, what can I do to proclaim the third angel's message? So, kalau orang Advent, you have to have apa? Kita harus punya apa kalau sebagai orang Advent? Ini. Doktrin apa spesifik aja? Three angels message. Kalau kita nggak ada three angels message, you are not Seventh-day Adventist.
Lagi nggak tahu three angel message.
Exactly.
Doktrin Ka'bah.
That's right. Jadi kalau orang bilang, oh kita itu Advent, I'm Seventh-day Adventist. But if you don't know the three angels message, you are not Seventh-day Adventist. Just tell you, God cannot use you to proclaim the three angels message in the future. You cannot be a remnant. And unfortunately, SDA they reject the three angels message. They change the logo. That's why we have to come out, karena kita yang akan preserve the three angels message dan kita akan proclaim with exceeding power compared to 1844. Man, if you know our purpose, wow. Kenapa Tante Erli?
Kita harus tahu tiga malaikat, tiga pekabaran malaikat.
Exactly. So when you study on Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday, what do you study?
Three angels.
Three angels message, and Daniel and Revelation ini.
Semua.
Ini kan last night Daniel 7 toh?
So first angels is like ngaku dosa ya.
Iya. Ngaku dosa, separate.
Personal.
Ya.
How about the third one?
Itu yang mark of the beast, yang the image.
No,
Don't
if you
worship the image.
You get the image, the
Yeah.
mark.
Jadi jangan ini ya worship image.
Iya, karena akan receive mark of the beast. Oke. Jadi kalau kita Seventh-day Adventist, kita harus tahu the third angel's message ya. Oke, nah sekarang we gonna close the story. Kita akan prove kalau the new hair itu lebih powerful dari the hair before. Oke, let's read. And it came to pass waktu their hearts were merry, waktu mereka bersuka cita karena Samson sudah di tangan mereka, They said, call for Samson. Mari kita panggil Samson supaya Samson bikin apa? Kayak bikin lawak di hadapan mereka ya. Kayak making fun, kayak game di hadapan mereka. Dan mereka memanggil Samson keluar dari apa? Babylon, from the prison house. When Samson came out from prison house, what happened? Dan and he made them a sport. Jadi mereka membuat dia jadi bahan olok-olokan, bikin lawak-lawak lah di depan mereka. And they set him between the pillars. Jadi ini ada pillars. Okay. Terus Samson berkata kepada anak kecil yang memegang tangannya, tolong saya supaya saya memegang apa? Pillar. Saya supaya memegang pillar. Whereupon the house standeth, that I may lean upon them. Jadi Samson bilang, oke, bawa saya di apa? Pillar, supaya saya pegang itu pillar ya. Okay. Terus now the house full of men and women, penuh semua dengan apa? Orang-orang. And all the lords of Philistine, jadi semua raja-raja, the dragon, beast, and false prophet, they all in one house. Together. Look at this is ada simbol nanti. So all the dragon, beast, and false prophet, they all in one place. Okay. And there were upon the roof about 3,000 men and women. Jadi semuanya itu kira-kira 3.000 orang. 3,000. Dan mereka melihat Samson bikin kayak lawak. Kan dia udah buta toh? Udah buta. Jadi pas orang lihat dia, mereka ketawain dia. Dan Samson, and that time Samson call upon the Lord. Samson pray. Apa yang dia bilang? Lord God, remember me, I pray thee. And give me apa? Strength. I pray thee. Only this one. That's it. Only this one. Oh God, that I may be at once offense the Philistine for my two eyes. 144,000 will pray, Lord, only this one we're gonna overcome dragon, beast, and false prophet. That's it. Only this time. Please, Lord, help me, give me strength. Just like Samson. Dan kemudian Samson memegang dua apa? Pillars yang di house itu, and on which he was born up, and the one with his right hand and one on the other with his left. Jadi dia pegang itu apa? Pillar di rumah itu. Waktu dia berdoa, dan Samson berkata, Lord, let me die with the Philistines. Waktu dia bilang begitu, apakah Tuhan kabulkan dia punya permintaan? Did God kabulkan? Granted his request, ya kan? And he bowed himself with all his might, and the house fell upon all the dragon, beast, and false prophet, upon all the people that were therein. Look at this. So the dead which he slew at his death were more exceeding more than they which he slew in his life.
So artinya dia meskipun itu panjang, tapi kalau Tuhan tidak ada.
That's the principle tadi Kak Roger. Jadi God hear him, God heard him, God granted his request. Jadi waktu dia ambil itu pillar dan the house fell, itu orang yang mati di saat itu lebih banyak daripada dia bunuh waktu dia masih hidup. So his power is exceeding than the other power. So 144,000 dia punya power akan lebih apa? Exceed. Dan ini Samson itu dia bunuh semua orang yang di rumah situ toh. The house it represent he kill all of them, dragon, beast, and false prophet. And his power is more exceedingly. Nah, so look at this. Kapan Tuhan bruise setan punya head? At the cross, kan? At the cross, Tuhan bruise setan punya head. Apa ini? Tengkorak. Kan? Represent. Jadi, when God bruise setan punya head, in Calvary di sini. Tapi the question is, kenapa Tuhan nggak datang-datang? Tuhan udah bruise setan punya head in Genesis 3:15. Why is it that Tuhan itu nggak datang-datang sedangkan dia udah bruise, setan sudah kalah kan? Kenapa Tuhan nggak datang-datang sedangkan setan udah kalah? Tuhan mau kita sendiri yang apa? Bruise setan punya kepala. Look at here. And God, the God of peace, shall bruise Satan under your feet. 144,000 yang akan kalahkan setan, kalahkan beast, dragon, and false prophet, 3 enemies yang diuse oleh setan. Dan kita itu yang akan finish, kita akan finish this. Jadi Genesis 3:15 dia punya fulfillment di sini, tapi akan di-finish oleh 144,000. Kita yang akan sendiri bruise setan. Kita sendiri akan bruise setan. Tapi bagaimana kita mau bruise setan kalau kita nggak ada power?
No way.
No way. Harus ada new hair represent the power, right? Okay. Nah, ini the power yang kita akan lihat, yang akan bruise, yang akan kill everybody. This is the last quotation. Spiritual gift. This is beautiful. Waktu saya melihat Tuhan in wonderful manner, dia preserve His people through time of trouble. Siapa akan lewati time of trouble? Who are going? 144,000 that will go time of trouble. As Jesus poured out His soul in agony in the garden, they will earnestly cry and agonize just like Samson. Cry, oh Lord, help me just this time. They will cry and agonize with Him day and night for deliverance. Satan host, ini Satan host and the wicked man will surround them and exalt over them because there will seem to be no way of escape for them. Jadi ini cerita ini kayak represent ini. Waktu Samson udah di prison house, terus mereka pikir mereka udah apa? Menang. They think that they already overcame Samson, right? So Satan host and the wicked man will surround them and exalt over them because there seems to be no way of escape from them. Jadi waktu kita melewati time of trouble, all our enemies, they think that we are already overcome. That's what they think. Kayak itu Philistine, they think that they already overcome Samson, right? But no, you will see the power of God. You will see the power of God. But in the midst of their revelry and triumph, waktu mereka lagi worship Dagon, Baal, in the midst of their revelry and triumph, there is peal upon peal of the loudest thunder. Jadi akan kilat, sambung menyambung. The heavens will have gathered blackness. Jadi langit akan jadi hitam. Are the only illuminated by the blazing light and terrible glory from heaven, as God uttered His voice from His holy habitation. Man. Jadi langit hitam, terus ada apa? Thunder, kilat, sambung menyambung. Tuhan berbicara, and then God says something, ya. And the foundation of the earth shake, building thunder and fall with a terrible crash. Jadi ini bumi ini akan jadi ada gempa bumi yang besar sekali. And the sea boils like a pot. Itu air itu mendidih semua, itu laut. And the whole earth is in a terrible commotion. Jadi ini dunia ini kayak udah hancur ya, I cannot describe. Here, look at this. The captivity of the righteous is turned. Jadi kita 144,000 kayak di captive oleh enemy. And with the sweet and solemn whispering, they say to each other, wow, we are delivered. Woo! Tuhan deliver Samson, we are delivered too. Here, it is the voice of God. With solemn awe, they listen to the word of the voice. Wow. You guys want to experience it? I want to experience it. Hah? Oke, jadi waktu mereka lihat itu semua yang terjadi, 144,000 tahu bahwa mereka itu akan dibebaskan, akan dideliver dari musuh-musuh ini. Karena kita merasa kita itu udah kalah kan, udah diserang oleh the wicked people. Nah, sekarang continue. Ini orang-orang jahat, the wicked. The wicked mendengar, tapi mereka tidak mengerti dari Tuhan. Jadi waktu Tuhan bicara, orang jahat, they cannot understand. Mereka ketakutan, tremble. Mereka ketakutan, tremble, while the saints is rejoice. Nah, terus here. Setan dengan malaikat-malaikatnya, dengan the enemy, dragon, beast, and false prophet, yang have been exalting that the people of God were in the prayer. Jadi setan pikir 144,000 udah di mana? In their power. That's what they thought. That they might destroy them from off the earth. Mereka apa? Mereka menyaksikan, they witness the glory conferred upon those who have honored the holy law of God. Waktu mereka lihat, mereka pikir kita itu akan dibinasakan oleh mereka, tetapi mereka sendiri melihat Tuhan apa? Membebaskan mereka. They see with themselves. They behold the faces of the righteous.
Lighted up.
Jadi kita itu waktu setan mau binasakan, terus Tuhan mau deliver kita, mereka melihat kita punya muka apa? Bercahaya. Shine. And reflecting the image of Jesus. Oh man. 144,000 their face will shine just like Moses. Dan kita akan reflect apa? The image of Jesus.
Bersinar.
Ya?
Bersinar.
Bersinar. Dia punya muka. Shining. Those who were so eager to destroy the saints. Jadi ini dragon, beast, and false prophet udah mau destroy the saints. Mereka apa? They could not endure the glory resting upon the delivered ones, and they fell like the dead man to the earth. Jadi semua our enemy, mereka jadi apa? Tersungkur waktu they see your face like Jesus shine. Mereka itu kayak orang mati tersungkur. Woo! Wow. Hah? Yeah, this is 144,000. And here, Satan dan evil angels, waktu they see you, they see Jesus. Satan and angels, mereka lari ketakutan. Satan and evil angels fled from the presence of the saints glorified. Wow, when they see you, they see Jesus. Satan fled. Setan itu takut in the presence of Jesus. They fled. Their power to anoint them was gone forever. Siapa yang bruise Satan? 144,000 by the power of God. Kita itu deliver. Wow, setan lari ketakutan. Nah, but the question is, we're not there yet, right? We're still here. The question is, how do I have the glory of God? Jadi bagaimana dan supaya kita bisa have the glory of God, and at the end 144,000 we will bruise Satan, right? Here. This is the application for us right now. 2 Corinthians 3:18. By we all, with open faces, beholding as in the glass the glory of the Lord, are changed into the same image from glory to glory, even as the Spirit of the Lord. Jadi gini, bagaimana kita punya glory atau the image of God? Kita harus look siapa? Behold siapa? Tuhan, Jesus. Kayak Tante Erli last night. You asked Dino, gimana sih supaya humble, isn't it? Is it your question? And I told you we have to behold siapa? Jesus. When we behold Jesus' character, kita akan dirubahkan sama dengan karakter Yesus. So what do we behold right now? What do we spend our time? We behold Jesus in the Bible or we behold something else? That's the question. Kalau kita behold something else, of course kita nggak akan mempunyai the glory of God. Kita nggak akan punya character of Jesus. So don't look at other too much. Look at Jesus. Mau lihat orang, kita pasti akan jatuh. Right? Look at Jesus. Kok dia begini-begini? Well, mau bagaimana lagi? Look at Jesus, right? Okay. Kolose 1 ayat 27. Colossians 1:7. Jadi bagaimana supaya kita punya the glory of God right now? Supaya kita menjadi partake of the 144,000 yang akan bruise Satan punya head. To whom God will make known what is the riches, the glory of His mystery among the Gentiles. What is the glory? Christ in you, the hope of glory. If Jesus in us, apa kita bisa sin? No. When Jesus in us, we don't sin anymore, right? Because in order for us to receive the seal of God, we have to have zero sin, right? Zero sin. Oh, well, yeah. This is the end of our Sabbath school. Then we have we learned a lot of things from Samson. Learn dia punya apa? Mistake. Supaya kita nggak apa? Repeat dia punya mistake. behold the glory of God. Learn from Samson. Do not partake of the wine. Do not play with the apostate church. And then we have to be separate, holy. Then we have to maintain. Jangan lower our standard. Dan kita harus behold Jesus every day supaya kita menjadi sama dengan karakter Yesus. Dan dengan karakter Yesus itulah kita bisa mengalahkan siapa? Setan.